All right, back to work on this old boat. Got to admit, I'm just going to do some work. You're going to get to watch, and I'm going to do a little voiceover because I've got some life circumstances I want to share with y'all. Yeah, things are rough. About as rough as this boat. So let's get into this, and I have no idea where it's going to go. So, all right. Well, I guess to begin with, I could start by telling the story of this old boat and where it came from and how it came to be in my possession. So this is a 1957 Crestliner Commander, and I have the original Johnson Seahorse 35 horsepower outboard motor that came on the boat. Now, I don't know all the details about this boat, like the paint job. I know that this is not how it was painted originally. It was repainted at some point, and I don't know the story about that. But the story about the boat and the family who bought it originally is kind of interesting. So I guess I'll just tell you this story from my perspective. So we'll go back to 1996 when I had just got my driver's license. My friends and I all started working at the McDonald's a town over. Now, there was a bunch of great people that worked there, and we all had a lot of fun. And one of the people that worked there was a lady named Carol. She worked day shift, and she was one of the nicest people you'd ever meet, and one of the hardest working, too. But on top of that, she sadly suffered from extreme epilepsy and a few other things that made life a little difficult for her. Now, the world being a small place as it is, my dad went to school in that town, and it turns out that he knew her and her family pretty well. None of this really meant much to me at the time, and I just kind of moved on with my life. But here's the rest of the story as I understand it. Back in the summer of 1957, a young couple in southern Michigan bought themselves a brand new Crestliner Commander with a 35 horsepower Johnson motor on it. Now, they were into competitive water skiing and lived on a lake themselves, so this boat was going to be perfect for them. A year after buying the boat, this couple welcomed twin baby girls into the world and couldn't be more excited, except for the fact that little babies are hard to take out on a speedboat for a little bit of water skiing. So the boat went in storage with plans to get it back out a few seasons later. I, of course, don't know all the details, but it became clear that this couple was living through every parent's worst nightmare. There was something wrong with their daughters, and it was going to be a long road of care ahead. I do know that both girls had extreme epilepsy, and one of them was Carol, who I worked with at McDonald's. So around that time that I was working at McDonald's, my dad and Mom ended up reuniting with Carol and her family, and they went out to lunch several times and had a really good time. And on one of these times, they had mentioned that they still had the old boat hanging up in the rafters of the garage, and they offered to sell it to my dad, and he couldn't resist. Now, the old boat wasn't in great shape, but it was better than it is now. We got a hold of it. My dad bought it and unfortunately wasn't in the position to refinish it at the time, so it sat by the old barn for about 20 years. And, well, then I got it off of him, and now it's time to refinish it and get it back on the water. All right, here's the motor. It's in really great shape for being 63 years old. Johnson Seahorse 35 horse. It's a really nice motor, and it has barely any use on it. It really is incredible. The original prop is even in really great shape. I mean, look at that. Up popping open the hood, you can see on the inside it's not quite as well preserved as it is on the outside. Apparently this motor looked like a great place for a condominium for a, well, just watch.
Do a wheelie! Do a wheelie!
Well, they did a number on it, but it still turns over real nice, and I just got to replace the wiring, because for some reason mice love wiring. And maybe repaint the inside of the hood. Alright, back to working on the side of this old boat. I'm going to tell you about the changes that I got planned for the channel moving forward. So, number one, funds are getting low. Last few years I had a job working for a scientific laboratory, but work got slow, so I've been doing handyman work, odd jobs for the last several months, and that's slowed down too, and it's time to go out and find a real paycheck. Now, prior to COVID, I worked for 21 years in auto manufacturing. I had a UAW job. I made bolts, the highest quality automotive bolts for Honda, Ford, and Nissan mainly. So with that experience, I will probably be looking for another job in automotive manufacturing or something of the ilk. Now, with that in mind, it might be wise for me to reconsider the name Honda Boy Floyd. To have a channel tied directly to one brand like that, especially a brand that does not have manufacturing facilities in my state, might not be the greatest idea if I'm looking to get a job at one of their competitors. And as I mentioned in my last video, the name is meant to be slanderous, kind of an insult, self-deprecating, if you will. So it's not something that I'm too attached to. Plus, I'm definitely not a one-brand person. Honda is the brand of motorcycle that I've owned the most of, but they make really good products, but they're definitely not the only brand I'm interested in. So with that in mind, I do believe I'm going to be changing the channel name. I'll keep you posted on some ideas I have for that in the future. Also, I'm going to be going down to 2 videos per month. As the funds are low and the weather is cold, it's hard to make progress on some of these projects. Stick with me though, because I'm not giving up and I'm not going away. Let's switch gears though and do a little work to the top of this boat and see if we can make it look any better. All right, I think I'm done on the boat for a while. My wire wheel died and it left me looking like I tangled with an angry porcupine. Look at all this. Damn. Man, they're everywhere. Stuck in my crotch, man. Damn. Holy shit. There's even a couple of them stuck in my boot. That's crazy. I want you to know something. When it comes to class, I'm chock full. Back to it. I am such a dork. And I did that 3 times. 3 takes to shove a quesadilla into my face. Whatever. Good quesadilla though. It's garbage, but I can lie to you, because you don't know. About done. Got a little bit left to do, and about done. About done for what I'm going to do today. Just got a little bit left to do, and then we'll have a good look at, see if what I've been doing is worth it or not. Question that every minute of every day, or some shit like that. Quesadilla, quesadilla. Yes. Fancy. Where'd my gloves go? Bit my lip. Well, it's 4:35 and the bright sun is sinking low. And that's the worst part about winter. Should be light until 9:30, but not this time of year. So let's check out the progress that we made, see if it was worth it. So it's not too bad. Looks pretty good for what I put in today, but then again, I did put in close to 5 hours. So, you know, these things take time. If you're gonna get into a project like this, expect to put in the work. That's what it takes. But it's fun though. And it's starting to look pretty decent. So keep at it. Next time the sun's high in the sky. Good grief, what are you doing to me? Don't do that. Stay with me. All right, so for right now, I'm just using 120 grit pad paper, and I'm going over it. I was doing just back and forth to start with, but I'm doing swirls now because there's hold on one second. If you can see in here, there are some pretty deep scratches, and to get those out, really have to kind of go in a circle and it starts bringing them out. But this patch here is starting to look pretty good. A lot left to do. It's tough to do by hand, but it's coming out pretty good. So again, I've never done anything like this before, refinished an aluminum boat, anything like that. It's an interesting process. I'm sure that there's people out there just cringing at what I'm doing with the sandpaper. Maybe not, maybe I'm doing everything the right way. But this is what I know and this is what I'm doing, and it's coming out all right. I still don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know if I'm gonna paint the top or polish it. Right now I'm kind of thinking about polishing it because it's starting to look pretty cool. But yeah, that's how it's going. So I started on the other side with just sandpaper willy-nilly because I didn't know what else to do with my time, but trying to do this side better, hitting it with a little bit of degreaser and a green scrubby, try to get the dirt off of it. Cleaned up pretty good. Not too bad. Considering this is what it was looking like. Let's see if we can. I'm just gonna hit a small patch. Yeah, so you see how much, just dirt stuff that takes right off of it to begin with. I really don't know if I could show it, but there's some it's either pitting or like abrasion in the metal. So that's why I'm using the 120 to really try to get that stuff out. There are other places though, like right here, these dings are a little deep, so I'm not gonna go that deep into it. But a lot of the scratches I can get out though, and in this shoot, I don't know what that would be from. Yeah, there we go, that rough bit there. Oxidation or pitting, I don't know, but a little sanding, it comes out, so I'm getting rid of that, and it's coming out pretty nice. I ended up finding some 80 grit, and let me tell you, that is the real deal. I pretty much used this pad up already, but it takes it down real quick, and use 120, 220, what I have laying around, and I think this is gonna look really nice. It's coming out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Some of these things are really tough to get out. Deep in there. Really scrub on it, but it starts coming out after a while. Just a lot of work. That's more of that rough, abrasive looking stuff. Comes out pretty good with the 80 grit though. If you're right-handed and you gonna do stuff like this, it's good to teach your left hand how to do stuff too. Comes out pretty good. All right, sun's about to go down, so I'm gonna call it on this one for today. Boat came out looking pretty good. Well, it doesn't come out looking pretty good. Got a lot of work to go yet, but it's not looking too bad. So, and also the big changes for the channel. So hope you stick around. Still gonna be doing cool stuff. Just gonna have to brand it slightly differently for sake of future opportunities, I suppose. All right, I'm your old friend B. There's been another one. We'll see you next time.